Hello, and holiday greetings from AIM International. This is a wonderful season as we review all that's happened in the AIM family during this past year. This has been a tremendous year for us at AIM, and we know that a big part of the reason for our success has been you. You are a vital part of the network of AIM distributors that have helped thousands of other people enjoy a better quality of life during this past year. Oh yeah, we have great products. Well, even more than great products, we have the best products in the world. We have a great staff and a great concept to help other people build their own business. We have a great mission that we believe in so much we continue to invest in it because we think we have something important to share with others. But more than all of that, we appreciate your dedication and loyalty in extending the AIM mission to others during this past year. It's because of all that you've done and your leadership that our thoughts and prayers are centered around you during this holiday season. We thought about something special that we could give to you to express our appreciation. And as we were thinking about that, I happened to listen to an audio recording of Charles Tremendous Jones' presentation at our convention in Boca Raton. It's such a wonderful talk he gave. It's full of ideas and inspiration. It's humorous and entertaining. And every time I listen to it, it gives me another lift. Well, we thought, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could get permission to make a special limited edition of the video presentation of his message? And so we called Mr. Jones, and he graciously gave us the approval to go ahead and make that presentation for a few of our most important people. And so we have this video presentation for you today. Now, I'm sure you realize it doesn't cost us a lot of money to send you a videotape. But it wasn't the cost. It's the message, the content that we wanted to give to you as a special token of our appreciation. I hope that you'll listen to this video presentation time and time again during this coming year. I hope that it'll provide sparks of inspiration, of encouragement, of new insight for you each time that you watch it. We are trusting and praying that this holiday season is going to be filled with joy for you and that God's richest blessings will overtake you throughout the coming year. And so now it's our pleasure to present to you Charles Tremendous Jones.
Over the years, I've been learning something you should know, and I hope you do know. Never allow any introduction more than 15 seconds. Because you know, especially when they're loving and sweet and courteous like Ron is, the longer he spends introducing the speaker, the deeper in trouble the poor speaker gets. Because you notice, usually the meetings start like this. Ladies and gentlemen, what a speaker we've got today. Wow! He's done this and that, and little by little, as Ron was going on, he didn't realize in another few minutes he would be alienating some of these young people. Because they would begin thinking, nobody's that good. So that's why, as soon as Ron started that, you saw me coming up here, and Ron, it's a good thing I cut you off, because in the little time you had, you were beginning to louse that up. No, I'm only kidding. Now, he was going to tell you that Gloria and Charlie have 6 children. That part is true. We do have 6 children, but let me explain why. Wait, don't run ahead, ladies. Wait for the punchline. Let me explain why we only have 6. The reason we only have 6 children is my wife hates kids. And then, sit down and be quiet, I see you there. Now, then you notice, and he was doing it, that when they introduce speakers, they do it, they give you their credentials. Oh, how this man did $1 billion worth of business his first month part-time. Oh, brother. But he said, you heard him, Charlie Jones built $100 million. And that's, you say, did you? Yes. So somebody will say, how many people did you have to do $100 million? I said, you mean full-time? We never had any full-time people. We had the kind of organization, if somebody would show up for a meeting, we would have a victory rally. And Ron was coming to the part when I cut him off. My book, Life is Tremendous, many of you have it, is in its 7th printing. Even that's not the whole truth. It is true my book is in its 7th printing. But the reason it's in its 7th printing is because the first 6 were blurred. Well, folks, I've been with you just a couple minutes. You know what I've done in a couple of minutes? I've just done what every good mama, every good papa, I've just done the 2 things you got to do if you're going to have a great life while you build a great organization. If you're going to have a great life while you build a great organization, number 1, you better be learning how to laugh at your failures. Now, laughing at your failures doesn't mean you like to fail. It just means if you're not learning how to laugh and building your heartaches, you're not even in the game. Once a young fellow said to me, Mr. Jones, what's an ingredient of success? Good judgment. So how do you get that? Experience. He said, well, how do you get that? Poor judgment. 1. It is impossible to like to fail, but if you're not learning how to laugh and build your heartaches, go home, quit now. 2. If you're going to have a great life while you build a great organization, you better be learning how to get people to laugh at themselves. Amen. Now, I know all the great comedians. I love Mark Russell, Red Buttons, Red Skelton, Jack Carter, Henny Youngman. I've been with them all. But you couldn't pay me $1 million a day to be a comedian. You know why? Comedians get people to laugh at them. If you mean business about building you a life, you better be learning how to get people to laugh at themselves. Because you got to be downright stupid or insensitive not to know that people don't hurt. And you can't take the hurt out of anybody's life, even your own, but you can help make any hurt be a lot better if you learn to laugh with it and build on it. Woo! So today, we're going to be laughing and be serious. Now, and by the way, another thing you better be learning, when you talk to people, always disarm them. Because you don't know what kind of heartaches they may have. They may be tired last night, couldn't sleep, but things are on their mind. So you got to always get them in neutral. Get them in neutral. And so, you know how you get them in neutral? Tell them a little story. But never tell a story without a point. Never tell a story without a point. And never make a point without a story. Make a point, tell a story, make a point. See how smooth that was? Now, I worked in it. Now, Dan Rather, this is a little story. Dan Rather is at the United Nations, interviewing all the new ambassadors from around the world. He's now interviewing the new ambassador from the tiny noodle little republic of Katanga, Ambassador Maramba. And Mr. Rather says, welcome to America, Mr. Ambassador. How are you enjoying your first trip to America? He says, well, I'm really enjoying my first trip to America. He says, Mr. Ambassador, do you think communism presents much of a threat to your little country? He says, well, I don't think communism presents much of a threat to our country. He said, Mr. Ambassador, where did you learn your English? He says, short wave, radio. Now, wait, I'm trying to make a point. Wait, I only have an hour. Never tell a story without a point. You say, what's the point of that story? Well, you got me on that one. But that's a funny story, isn't it? That's a good story. But wait, there's a little point. You see, no matter how many meetings you go to, here we are, this resort, unbelievable. The food is wonderful. The speakers are wonderful. The fellowship is wonderful. And yet in every meeting, no matter how wonderful things are, there's always 1 or 2 thumbsuckers sitting in the audience thinking, the whole thing stinks. Now, the point of that Dan Rather story was to give everybody a good belly laugh. Now the thumbsucker will say, that won't make my problems go away. Right. A good belly laugh will never make any problem go away, but even a little belly laugh can make any problem look a lot different. Now let's get it straight right now. I cannot make any of your problems go away. You know how I know I can't make any of your problems go away? Because I can't even make my own go away. Why would I want yours to go away? Why should I be the only one suffering like this? Well, already we're feeling better. Isn't that better? Oh, it's so wonderful. That's the point. Oh, life. Thank God for life. Now, these are exciting days. Are these not exciting days? I know there's problems galore, but with all this, these are exciting days. But how much excitement do you run into when you go to have a meeting? How many of your people greet you and say, "Woo! Let me at 'em"? You don't hear that. I tell you what you hear. You hear what I hear. Here's what you hear. I'm going to quit. I'm going to quit. I say, you can't quit. You never done nothing yet. I used to be afraid to go to the meetings for fear they were always waiting for me to say, "Hello, Charlie, we quit." I said, all right. All right. I quit too. I'm not staying here alone anymore. They used to want to quit in the morning. They would want to quit at noon. They want to quit at night. I had to give them anything. They want to quit. And I would say to myself, why do these thumbsuckers want to quit again? I'm not asking you. Let me think. You know what they used to tell me? Actually, would tell me, I want to quit because I can't communicate. Let me tell you something, Ron. You make me sit through one more seminar on communication, and I'm going to quit. You say, don't you believe there's a communication problem? Don't talk to me so stupid. If you're married, you have a communication problem. If you think you don't, your problem is worse than you realize. They say, these motivators and speakers, we got to learn to communicate with our young people. We got to communicate with our neighbor. I'm not doing too good with my wife. You're not against your neighbor? I'm not against my wife either. It only seems that way to her. Now, who have they called the last several years ago? Who was that great American in Washington that we called the great communicator? Who? Ronald Reagan, communicator, my eye. Ronald Reagan, the great communicator, never communicated one word to Teddy Kennedy. You know who loved Ronald Reagan? Us conservatives who love conservative rhetoric. You know who loves Teddy Kennedy? I don't know, but he gets elected. Now, here's the point. We're going to have a thinking session today. I don't want none of you listening. I want you thinking with me. You know why? I got you all your pens out. That's good. Keep your pens out. Now, get your pen. We got your pen out? Okay, ready. Now, here it is. Got your pen in? Don't you write down one word I say. Now, keep your pen out. You say, aren't you going to say anything worth writing down in a whole hour? Not for you. That's going to be my big point. I'm going to prove to you and all your friends here, I'm going to prove to you what you hear never does you much good. You know how I can prove what you hear never does you much good? Easy. Because if what you hear would do you much good, you'd have to be a whole lot better than what you are, because you sure heard enough, haven't you? All my life I've been drug out to meetings and seminars, and all I've heard is, listen, listen, listen. And I listen and listen and listen. And the more I listened, the more confused I got. And one day I caught on. I wasn't supposed to listen. You say, what were you supposed to do? What I hope you've been doing already. Think. Another thing. Why should you make notes of what I'm saying when my own wife don't understand what I'm saying? And don't you laugh at him. Why should you make notes of this meeting when you didn't read last year's notes yet? All right, now I'm going to make you a lot of money. I'm gonna really move your success way ahead much quickly. Here it comes. From now on, whenever you read a book, whenever you hear a speaker, whenever you hear a sermon, always listen with a pen in your hand. And go ahead and make a few notes of what you thought you heard. But save most of the room to make notes of what you think as a result of what you heard. Now when our pastor starts preaching, I take my pen and start making notes of things I think. This excites our pastor. Sometime I think he should throw away his sermon and read my notes. And then, going out of church, I shake him up. I say, Pastor, you were really good this morning. You interrupted my train of thought a half a dozen times. Now, what's the point? Now listen, you say, but I can't do this like you can't do it. Of course you can't do it like I do it. And here's another thing you better be learning not to do. You ever hear people say, if I can do this, you can do it. You probably said that. Well, you're lying. Don't you ever tell nobody, I can do it, you can do it. There's a lot of things I can do, you can't do. There's some things you can do, I can't do. There's some things she can do, we can't do. Woo! I hope that's true. But there's one thing sure today, there isn't anybody here, including me and Ron, that can't do what we're doing better. Well, and say that. We can all do a little bit better. But there's some things you'll never do like me and I'll never do like you, and that doesn't need to be done. But we can all do better. So see, thinking. Right away you start thinking. I love to see people thinking. Now you see, here's the secret. Galileo said it best. You can't teach anybody anything new. You see, God builds all the great truths into the system. Your job is helping people see what they know. Now here's the problem. You can't, all this truth in here, you can't think a thought till you have a thought framed with words to think it. You can't, you can know you know it, but you can't think it till you get your words on your thoughts to think it. And what's the use of knowing all you know if you don't know you know it? Now that frustrates you, doesn't it? So, now, would you mind repeating that? No, good. Because, see, if you repeated it, it would be wrong. That means you memorize it. That'd be bad. But you see, if you're laughing, that means you say, oh, that's true. Oh, that's really true. And you cannot exactly express it yet, but as you grow, you will express it. And when you express it, it won't be with words. It'll be your heart, because the real language is heart language. So my job is making your mind race. You say, well, you talk so fast, I can't remember what you're saying. That's why I talk fast. Because when you leave my meeting, at least you're going to be even. Did you ever hear that? Did you ever hear this? Did you ever hear this? Do you know why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth? Why? So we can listen twice as much as we talk. Don't talk so stupid. God gave us a mouth to think out loud with our lips, what we thought through with our mind, that we know in our hearts, so you can think and see how little you know about what you're saying, and rethink it and unlearn it, keep on growing all over again. So when you know more than anybody else, all you know is you know less than you ever knew in your life. But when you don't know nothing, you think you know it all. Isn't that amazing? Why, my goodness. Brother, now listen, folks. Would you mind repeating that? Good, he's thinking. Now, and how about this one? Did you ever hear this one? Do you know that people only remember 10% of what you said 10 minutes after you said it? Yes, that's right. You know what I say to that? That's too much. You see, the greatest compliment you'll pay me, the greatest compliment you'll get your people to pay you is when you walk out the door this morning, you say, Charlie Jones, I don't remember one word you said, but I don't remember an hour when I had more fun, thinking more clearly and seeing things more clearly and laughing at my heartaches. Now that's a wonderful thing, you see. And you say, well, not unusual. No, I can show you the book, the person, everything in my life I owe to somebody. And that's the joy of learning and growing. You're not trying to get credit. You're giving credit. You're not trying to give blame. You're taking blame. Why? Because you knew it. But it's only as you're around people working, thinking, and learning, and it's wonderful. So, you see, now what are we doing now? Well, we're not communicating. Now, when people say, we have a communication problem, nod your head so they think you're normal. But as soon as they go away, forget that junk. We don't work on communication. You say, what do we work on? We work on identification. So what's that mean? Identification means, you know it. You may not be able to say it like I say it, but I know you know it. I can see it in your eyes. Identification is when you start learning how you can say a whole lot more by saying a whole lot less. Because you see, if you don't learn to identify, if you're communicating, you think if you talk more, you'll get more across. Oh, no. No, the real language is never from ear to ear, lips to the ear. The real language is heart to heart. It's identifying. And so you see, my job today is not to teach you nothing. You had the great teaching. You're going to have one of the greatest inspirational speakers in all the world when Ron, when he wraps it up tomorrow night. And Bob Berg, I heard this morning, those are great techniques, and you need to make notes of that. You need. But now today, the heart of all your life is not how to be a success. Oh, I've watched people learn how to be a success, how to be a success, how to be a success, and they never become one anyway. But watch people who don't know how to be a success, who learn why they're doing something, and they don't know how to do it, but they know why they got to do it. They go ahead and do it without knowing how to do it because they know why they got to do it. And when they keep on doing it, they say, well, this is really something. And it's just an unfolding thing. So I'm going to share with you some things what I've been learning for 49 years, learned to love Gloria. 48 years, learned to raise children. 47 years developing people. Now, as I share these things with you, watch how we begin to identify. And as we begin to identify, watch how your guard goes down and you didn't know it went down. As we begin to identify, watch how you begin to relax and almost forget I'm here and begin to think with me rather than listen to me. As we begin to identify, watch how you begin to laugh at some of your hurts and humiliations more than my punchlines. Ready? Here we go. I will now share with you the greatest thing I've been learning in all my years in business. What I'm going to share with you is almost too much wisdom for some of you young people, but I'm going to give it to you because you won't understand it anyway. But some of you old geezers, you're going to love it. Now, can you hear in the back? Is the mic working okay? Microphone working? Don't miss this. Did you ever notice how the big speakers that Ron brings in, the big names, how they all wait to the end of the talk to give you the good stuff? Not me. I give you the best stuff right in the beginning. So if you have to leave early, go to the bathroom, you didn't miss nothing. Here comes the greatest thing I've been learning. I'm giving it all to you right now. Here it comes. Now, you can tell I'm setting this up, can't you? Why? Because in selling, you always set it up. So when you come to the big question, they can't say no. You've closed all the gates. So I'm setting this up. Why? Because what I'm going to say now is going to come by so fast. You have never heard this much wisdom in your whole life, crammed into so few words. And when I say this, if you miss this, woo, you miss the whole thing. So here it comes. This is it. The greatest thing I have been learning in all my years in marriage and business is nothing works. You say, what? Let me say, I love that. Nothing works. Now, you know nothing works. That's why you're at this meeting. If you had somebody, you'd be home watching it work. You'd had somebody come and get the cassettes and bring them home. You say, why did he come? Because he knows it's more fun failing here with us than failing at home alone. That's why he's here. Now, here's the point.